Good morning, everybody. It's John from Veganism KILLS. It's April 13th, 2 a.m. in the morning. The reason for my little, or I should say my early morning little intervention is I had a talk with one of these vegan characters today in my comment section in one of my videos about Earthling Ed. His name is Bullaplots, and unfortunately, this person doesn't seem to have anything above a high school education. Talking to him and the way he writes, and what matters to him is these rudimentary math problems and isosceles triangle angles. He's trying to prove he's smart for some reason. Meanwhile, I don't think he realizes that I was offered tenor at St. John's University twice. And I'm familiar with the Dean of Harvard, Sir John Hood. But we'll leave that out. What I learned today is that Ed is actually providing these people with math that guilts them into eating a plant-based diet. Because if you consume meat, you're actually feeding all the grain that could be fed to 24 billion other people, and you're being selfish. Because Ed made up a fake conversion rate. And the fake conversion rate that I learned from him today is that Ed, and I'll clear it out, says there's 8 billion livestock. That includes chicken, sheep, pigs, cattle. All of them eat enough grain, each individual animal eat enough grain in a year to support 3 people. That's what he's saying. And the formula goes like this: 8 billion livestock, right, feeds 3 people per year. That says we give the cattle and all the other livestock enough grain to feed 24 billion people. What this deceitful asshole left out is that 86% of the feed that we feed this livestock is undigestible to humans. We are not feeding him the grain. We're not feeding them the grain that's edible to humans. Maybe between 5 and 10%. We actually use more grain making alcohol products, which is about 33%, than we feed the cattle. So after that discussion, now that had to change because now there's no out. Hey, I know what I'm talking about. I have the FAO figures I could show you. Now they know they can't let that. He went, well, you're not included in all the trees and grass fields that we can convert to cropland. I said, first of all, we use enough cropland that if you put it all together, equals the land mass of Russia. So if we delete meat to make up for that caloric value to actually keep us from starving to death, we would need 3 times the size of Russia to feed the whole world. Where would human beings live? We'd have to wipe out every species of animal that currently exists. We'd have to dig up every tree, flower, and everything else. This is how stupid, brainwashed vegans are. They're dumb. None of them seem to have went in and took a STEM class in their fucking entire life. Edward Gaunt is a film student. Edward Gaunt has no credentials. The FAO, where I get my figures from, has 195 member countries with teams of scientists from each of the 195 countries that actually hand the data to the UN, and I'm taking that data and I processed it myself with simple math. Anybody can do this. You don't have to have the credentials to actually see the actual figures from the credible people with credentials. So in the light of it, this guy is over here trying to destroy people's businesses for an ideal that would basically turn the earth into something like Mars in 100 years in order to sell fake meat to everybody. Because that's what it is. It comes down to the bottom line. This little cocksucker here, and I'll debate him any day of the week, any time, and he frickin' pulls those fake figures on me. Every farmer in the world that out there should sue this bastard. Should sue him. A civil class action because he's running around and people like Healthy Vegan are going around telling everybody, oh, oh, you can get COVID-19 by eating meat and meat spreading COVID-19. Bullshit. So you're going to have your butcher get hurt economically when he's trying to help feed people when they need the meat as much as possible now. COVID-19. People got to eat a good diet. This friggin' diet here, you go look at all the studies that I have over there, shuts down your autoimmune system. And do any of these idiots even care to read it? No. They have no interest in reading any studies. Because if they read studies, they wouldn't be making up fucking figures and pulling them out of their ass. Along with the friggin' massive load of fiber. So, it comes down to brass tacks. The more I talk to these vegans, the more I find out they're being misinformed by their top talking heads. They don't know what they're talking about. They're not capable of understanding that the figures that he's given you, how to check them. Somebody, if you don't know math and somebody says 2 plus 2 is 5, and then you go to ask the school teacher and he says, no, dummy, 2 plus 2 is 4. How would you know you're wrong? That's what I do. I go check. Well, he gave this figure that the conversion rate is 8 billion livestock, eats enough food in a year, grain in a year that could give 3 people and feed them for a year. And then you check and the figures are false. He left out huge swaths of intricate detail that need to be included in those formulas. And it's been done deliberately. Because you see, if you put it that way, it gives you a shock value, and it gets these people that are over emotional, don't have nothing better to do in their white privileged lifestyle. It gives them something to keep breathing for. Pick up a fucking hobby. Stop spreading this vegan bullshit. You should be embarrassed to be that fucking stupid that anybody could take advantage of you by showing you a mathematical formula that it seems that you can't figure out yourself, so you think they're smart. This is bad, people. This is bad. I think a lot of us need to gather together, and honestly, I think it's time to lawyer up and get rid of these people. They're going to do a lot of damage to the rest of us as a whole if they just keep spouting their misinformation. They're hurting businesses for no reason but lies. They're over here telling you that slaughtering an animal for food is murder, which it isn't, because you could check the law books. I haven't seen anybody put in prison for life for killing a chicken or a cow or a sheep or a pig. It's all nonsense. It's all nonsense. They need to shut the fuck up and stop spreading their misinformation because it's killing children and it's making healthy people unhealthy. And on that, I'm out of here.